guys, it's Miss Simpson, and it is time for social studies today. We are learning about business and industry today, like different businesses and inventors in Texas. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to skip through a few of these. So let's talk about the major industries that we see in Texas, and maybe that you have heard of some of these, or you have parents that work in some of these industries. So we have oil and petroleum. That's a big one in Texas, especially I think like West Texas area. Agriculture, that is a really big one too. I went to Tarleton State University, and one of the biggest it's called a major. It's something that you want to do when you grow up. One of the biggest majors that you could pick is in agriculture. A lot of people major in agriculture. There's cattle, food processing, logging and timber, fishing, manufacturing, technology, service, and tourism. Those are all different major industries of Texas. So first, let's start talking about oil and petroleum. So the first oil was drilled in Oil Springs, Texas in 1866. In 1901, the oil was found at Spindletop. And as you get older, Spindletop will be something y'all talk about a little bit more in depth. So the first gas distributor in Texas was Lone Star Gas, was founded in 1909. So this has been a big industry for us for quite some time. 1866 is when all this started. Oil and petroleum are used literally in almost everything we use, like plastic. Anything is made of plastic. Like my iPad case is made of plastic. My computer mouse is made of plastic. My phone case is made of plastic. Tires. Almost everybody has a car that has tires. Your stuff is it's not made of oil and petroleum, but they use oil and petroleum to make it. Paper, you need oil and petroleum to make paper, and metal. That's almost in everything that we use in our daily lives. The oil industry provides many jobs, lots and lots and lots of jobs to a lot of different people. So we have petroleum engineers, we have drillers, and we have derrick hands. Let's talk about agriculture. So 86% of land in Texas is used for agriculture. Like I said, it's a big industry, and I saw it personally when I went to college all the time. That's the biggest thing that people wanted to do when they grew up. 1 in 7 people living in Texas work in the agriculture industry. So raise your hand if you know somebody who lives in Texas and works in the agriculture industry. Raise your hand. That's pretty cool. If you know somebody, off the top of my head, I do not know someone who works in the agriculture industry, but I know that it is a big one people go into. So Texas crops include citrus fruits, corn, wheat, peanuts, pecans, and rice. Agriculture is a huge thing. It's how we get our food. We also have cattle. That's a big industry. We have more cattle than any other state in our country. Texas has the most cattle. Isn't that crazy? We have more than 13 million head of cattle. 13 million cows. That's a lot for one state. We mostly raise the cows for beef, which is for food, but there are also some dairy farms as well. So we get our milk. We get milk for the cheese that we make and all of that stuff. Food processing. This was started in local markets and butchers, but with the large cattle industry, meat packing became a big business. Remember, we use our cows a lot for beef. That's how we eat. That's one of the foods, the proteins that we get. So they needed somebody to process that beef, and that's what food processors do. Soup canneries, beverage facilities, and potato chip factories soon followed. So how your processed food gets made, that's what these are. So your potato chips, almost everything you buy in the store comes from a food processing. This is one of the largest form of manufacturing in Texas, like potato chips, Dr. Pepper, all kinds of things in Texas get made. Logging and timber. So lumber, which is like cutting down trees, has been an industry in Texas since the early 19th century. That's a long time. That's over 100 years. There are records of sawmills throughout East Texas before the Texas Revolution. This lumber industry was the first of the Texas industries to actually make a profit. And we talked about profit at the beginning of the year. That's the money you get to take home, you get to keep. Jobs If you want a job in logging and timber and you want to be a part of that, you can find one in a sawmill, logging camps, lumber productions, planing mills, and paper mills, because paper is made from our trees. There's also fishing. Yes, my friends who I know love to fish that are watching this video, you can make a career off of fishing. Shrimping, actually, along the Gulf Coast of Texas is Texas's biggest fishing industry. So, no, it's not like going out to your lake and fishing for a bass, but it is shrimp. So you will be on a boat, you'll fish for shrimp. The shrimping industry brings in more than $500 million a year to Gulf Coast economies. I want you to raise your hand if you've ever eaten shrimp. You are contributing to our fishing industry. Crazy, right? There's also manufacturing. We have more than 800,000 jobs in manufacturing. That's like food processing, which is when we make the potato chips, we make the Dr. Pepper. Most of these manufacturing companies are small businesses and factories. These manufactured products make about 95% of Texas's exports, and that's what we send out to get money for. Next, we have technology. So, Texas's instruments changed the technology industry and brought many advancements to Texas. So we have radio transistors, which are small inventions that are allowed two-way radios. We also have a silicone chip that was invented by Jack Kilby. And we have tourism. Tourism is almost $26 billion for the Texas economy. And that is what the only economy to make more than tourism is oil. So tourism employs more than 600,000 people. So it's for travel destinations. What this looks like to me, and I'm not for sure, but this looks like in San Antonio when you can ride that like a little gondola down the river right there, the river walk. We bring in a lot of tourism. Okay, so we went a little too far there. Let's talk about two inventors that invented things, and they were from Texas. So Joseph Glidden, he was the inventor of barbed wire. He received the patent for barbed wire in 1874. And a patent means that nobody can copy you, basically. Fence cutting became popular, and whole herds of cattle were stolen at once until 1884, when fence cutting became a felony. You can't cut somebody's fence. So then next is Gale Borden Jr., and I hope that you guys remember him because some of you did your project on him at the beginning of the year. He invented condensed milk. Condensed milk, nowadays, we use a lot for like baking. I'm sure that you might have seen it for baking. This was very popular during the Civil War, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. It helped to lay out the cities of Houston and Galveston. And when Gale Borden Jr. died, they named their company Borden, and now it's the Borden Dairy Company. Raise your hand if you have in your fridge right now Borden milk. It is a huge brand. If you go to a donut shop right now and you go buy chocolate milk, I guarantee you the name that you're going to see on that chocolate milk is Borden, because Borden is one of the biggest dairy companies that I have seen. Now, sometimes I buy the off-brand milk, like just the Walmart kind, like Great Value, but Borden is like the name brand. A lot of people buy Borden. It's a trusted company. But I thought that was pretty cool that Gale Borden Jr. is the one who founded that, and he started it off by inventing condensed milk. Crazy, right? All right, so that is the end of our lesson today. Today, I don't have any assignment for you. It's just watching the video. You don't have to post anything. But tomorrow, I am going to talk about the Civil War. Now, if you're watching this and you're not in my homeroom and you are in another homeroom and you are just at home right now, you look right down below or click the next button, whatever your teacher does, and make sure that they don't have an assignment posted for you. But for my homeroom, you do not have an assignment today. All you have to do is watch the video so you're prepared for tomorrow. All right, my friends, I love y'all so much, and I hope you have a fantastic day.